include interior and exterior colors. Customization is an available feature subject to availability at participating Nissan dealers. See dealer for details.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
If you've hooked up Alexa or OK Google, just say, play 96.9 The Game on iHeartRadio. 96.9 The Game. Radio.
The home of the Knights. WYGM Orlando. WJRR HD2 Cocoa Beach, Orlando.
Time to put the pedal to the floor. It's loud and live and local. Oh, time for open mic.
That is correct. We are loud, live, and local on this Tuesday morning. We appreciate everybody who joins us so early in the morning. Welcome to Open Mic. I'm Mike Bianchi, the Bulldog sports columnist of the Orlando Sentinel, joined as always by Adam Reardon, the Deceptive Intellect, and also Austin Pastolka, the Sultan of Sound.
Yeah, that's right, Mike. The Sultan of Sound here, and I've got problems because these headphones suck. Wow, oh my gosh.
Oh, you got some bad headphones.
Bad headphones, it's no good. But I do, well, you know what is good? I've got tickets to tomorrow's Magic game. Magic at Hawks. Not Magic at Hawks. Hawks at Magic. I'll be giving those away during the sound off. Goodness gracious.
Magic at Hawks. Austin's private jet.
Yeah, that's it.
Also included.
All right, we want to hear from you throughout the course of the show. 407-916-8255. You can call us, you can tweet us at 96.9 The Game. You can text us on our Academy Sports and Outdoors text line. That's 50857. Lots of ways to listen to us. FM 96.9 The Game, AM 740, HD 101.1-2. You can listen on your smart speaker. You can listen on podcast. If you can't hear us live, just go to 969thegame.com/podcast. Look for Open Mic and Open Mic on Demand. That's our entire show you can listen to on podcast. You can also watch us on social media. Go to YouTube, search for the Open Mic live stream, and you can watch our beautiful faces talk sports. You can also watch us on Twitter and Twitch as well. The Bulldog was a little worried last night, so I get in bed and I start having these coughing fits. And I'm like, oh no, am I getting COVID? And I couldn't stop coughing. You know, sometimes when you lay down, you cough, and then when you sit back up, you stop coughing because I guess the whatever's in your system.
Mike, aren't you in the age range for the COVID vaccine? You should probably go get that.
Not quite, but close. but anyway, so I took some NyQuil last night to stop coughing, and now I'm groggy this morning. So yeah, that NyQuil's not good stuff. That's probably not good for you to put that stuff in your system, is it?
That's normally my last ditch. Like if I'm really bad, I will take that so I could sleep.
Ooh,
and get well. But normally I don't take anything. No. I mean, I have to be. I mean, I would. That's probably the first thing I would take. Like if I had, if I really had COVID, while other people are probably taking all kinds of that'd be like that. That's
your last ditch effort.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. I'm
a drugs guy, man.
Are you really?
Oh yeah.
So I mean, there's people out there that are anti-vaccine and all that, and it's not that I'm anti-drug. I just do kind of believe that if you take a little bit of medicine when you're a little bit sick, then the next time you're going to be a little bit sicker because you're going to need a little bit more medicine. I believe that. There's no basis in that belief at all, and I could be 100% wrong. But me, I'm a big orange juice guy. If I get sick, that's my first line of defense. And normally, when I roll out the A squad, which is nice pulpy orange juice, I feel like that's victorious more times than not.
See, I'm a big Gatorade guy. I like to flush the system out with Gatorade.
There you go.
I got it. If I get even the slightest headache, ibuprofen.
Oh, really?
Immediately.
Right away?
Because I know that I'm like, this is starting something. I need to kill it now.
I like to tough out a headache and give everybody else around me a headache by me telling them, how tough I am, that I've got a headache and I'm not taking anything.
All right, our open mic early morning inspirational quote of the day. From the great Arthur Schopenhauer, and I quote, "Ordinary people think merely of spending time. Great people think of using it." End quote.
It's nice.
Anyone?
Yeah. I mean,
What does that mean?
I mean, listen, we spend a lot of time at work. Shouldn't we be using our time at work, Mike? Honestly, I mean, we should be using. We're spending all this time. I thought you were going to say investing time, because now I'm like all in my stocks.
Immediately going to go into your stock portfolio.
Let you know how great a day it was for Fubo.
That one stock you recommended yesterday went up loads.
Well, it went up and then came back down, but the one that I moved everything to, I had my little insider trading.
No, that's the one that went
the
up
Fubo.
yesterday.
Oh, you're talking about the Fubo. Yeah, no, Fubo was strong yesterday. They got an earnings report coming out after hours today, so maybe still a little bit of meat left on that bone for you folks out there. I mean, this is not financial advice.
You think I hope there's a little meat left on the bone. I
went up $4 yesterday. Went up $4 per share yesterday, and then they got earnings report, which most analysts and most things I've read seem to believe that they will beat their projection. So that could be good news.
How much more will it go up today, you think?
I wouldn't be surprised at the end of the day if they beat the earnings report. I would be surprised. A couple more bucks per share. That's nice, and when you got the 50 grand in it like you and I do, Mike. I mean, that's a lot of that's a lot of scratch. pennies.
All right, let's start with the Orlando Magic. Oh, back to life, back to reality.
I mean, like a couple of wins over some sub 500 teams, and Mike all of a sudden thought that this was, hey, are we making a playoff run?
Yeah, Mike needs to get back to reality.
Well, I am back to reality now. The Magic go down 130 to 124 last night to Luka Doncic and the Dallas Mavericks. Here's what it sounded like.
Doncic behind the back. What a pass to Dorian Finney-Smith. My goodness, he's in the back of his head. He's so special. Brunson with the layup. That's good. Oh, what a night for Jalen Brunson. 23 for Brunson. Doncic using some clock. Carter Williams picks him up. Step back three. Good by Doncic. Oh my goodness, he is so good.
For the most part, when we did what we were supposed to do, we gave ourselves a chance. And when we didn't, that's when the open threes came. And you can't make mistakes with a guy like Doncic. I just thought, to be honest with you, I thought we'd be better defensively. And that was the difference in the game.
Okay, that was Steve Clifford, Magic coach. Luka Doncic, 33 points, 9 assists. The Magic actually played well on offense last night. Again, 124 points. Nikola Vucevic scored 29 points, had a game-high 15 rebounds. He will join our show, by the way, at 8:15 a.m. this morning. Evan Fournier had 26 for the Magic. The Magic shot 49.5% from the floor. They made a season-best 23-pointers, but their defense, I don't know what's going on with it the last couple games. Their defense has not been good at all. And Luka Doncic, my God, is he good? Why can't the Magic have a player like that fall to them? All right, so he was drafted 3 years ago. By the way, you think the Atlanta Hawks are questioning, keeping Trae Young or drafting Luka Doncic and then trading him to the Dallas Mavericks and they take Trae Young?
I mean, Trae Young is still a great young player.
No, yeah, he's not Luka Doncic. Luka Doncic is, you just heard Jeff Turner. Luka Doncic is special. He's special. This guy does it all, man. He shoots from three. He drives to the basket. He handles the ball. Again, he's a great passer. I think the Hawks are certainly having second guesses about not taking Luka Doncic. So you guys think not?
I'm trying to remember. I can't imagine that was a straight up trade. They must have gotten something else for that pick, and to trade that away, and it depends, I guess, on what they got with it. Trae Young's a really good. It's not like you could look at it, and it's not like they play the same position. Obviously, Luka Doncic has got a lot of attention, and yes, if you said piece for piece, player for player, right now in a vacuum, I'd rather Doncic. But Trae Young is not a bad consolation prize, and then depending on what they got also in that deal, and I'm assuming they got something else for him. Because I want to say that they drafted him first and then traded him away. So normally you get like a second round pick or you get another player or something.
Austin, you have that?
I'm
He's
looking
for it.
Yeah. I'm interested in that. But
Dallas sent a protected 2019 first round pick to Atlanta.
Yeah, so they got Doncic, or excuse me, they got Trae Young and then a 2019 first round pick, and so I'd like to know what Atlanta got for that. So then basically you're talking about a 2-for-1 deal, and that if that's another contributor, a key contributor for Atlanta, then
no, give me Luka Doncic. I don't care who the contributor is. I don't care about Trae Young. Give me Luka Doncic. This guy's going to be he's going to be the star of the league, in my opinion. The star. He's already one of the stars of the league. I think this guy's going to be the best player in the league, Luka Doncic. Just my opinion. But anyway, what I was saying is, why can't the Magic have a player like that follow them? The Magic, through the years, again, they had all of those draft picks during the Rob Hennigan years, and the best player they could come up with was Victor Oladipo when he was the number 2 pick in the draft, and that was a draft that wasn't a very good draft. The Magic, I don't know if it's being unlucky or what, but obviously the injuries with Jonathan Isaac maybe would have turned into a star player, but hell, he's been injured so much you can't count on him. Mo Bamba, obviously, right now you'd have to say he's a flop because he didn't even play last night. So, again, I don't know if the Magic have been unlucky or just not very good drafting players, because right now, when you look at some of these young players that other teams have, the Magic just do not stack up whatsoever.
So, Mike, you in fact do know the answer to that question, right?
What?
Whether they were unlucky or they just weren't good at drafting players.
Well, again, I go back to when Rob Hennigan was the GM and they took Victor Oladipo. And Victor Oladipo's, he's a nice player, all right, but he's not a superstar in the way that Luka Doncic is. In that particular draft, they were just unlucky. When you look at the players who were taken behind Victor Oladipo, it's not. I don't believe there were any stars in that draft, actually. Who was taken number 1 in that draft?
Anthony Bennett. That was the...
Yeah, he was a flop.
Oh, my God. He was maybe the greatest flop in NBA history.
He was a flop. Who was taken
top 10. So, Anthony Bennett, Victor Oladipo, number 2, Otto Porter Jr.,
bad,
Cody Zeller,
who?
Boom.
Alex Len, Nerlens Noel, Ben McLemore, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Trey Burke, and C.J. McCollum.
C.J. McCollum. C.J. McCollum is the best of that group.
Okay, but
Giannis was that year at 15.
Oh, yeah, and then Giannis. God, a real genius would have drafted that guy at 15.
Oh,
we should get that guy.
Magic now.
Oh, hey, they got that guy. That's not the guy who drafted the guy in a wheelchair, though, is it?
Oh, of course not.
Now he's batting 500. Hold on, wait, what's going on here?
Anyway. All right, so we'll get to more Magic coverage as the show progresses. Straight ahead, though, we have a spontaneous text question. What teacher did you have a crush on when you were a kid? Think about that. That's next on Open Mic.
Absence makes the heart grow.
Welcome back to Open Mic. So, funny, I was just surfing the web. Is that still a saying that people say, surfing the web, during the break? And I was on CBSSports.com, and as fate would have it, there's a headline at CBSSports.com, one of their main headlines. Doncic trade, decision haunting Hawks GM, ? So I click on it, and then the headline of the main story says, after giving away Luka Doncic, is Hawks president Travis Schlenk fighting a battle he's already lost? And then it goes on to say, hey, Trae Young has become an all-star, blah, 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 blah. So they traded the rights to Luka Doncic for Trae Young and that future first-round draft pick who became Cam Reddish. Cam Reddish looks like, he has some promise as well. But here's what it says in the story. That said, it's possible Shank is fighting a battle with Atlanta management that he already lost back in 2018 when he traded the rights to Luka Doncic to the Mavericks for Trae Young and a future first-round draft pick, which became Cam Reddish. This isn't a knock on Young, who, again, has been fantastic, at times historic offensive player at this stage of his career, but there hasn't yet been any real evidence that he can be the best player on a winning team. He's a defensive liability and has refused to commit to making any kind of off-ball impact, blah, 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 blah. Either way, Luka is a championship-level alpha, plain and simple. So, again, the jury's still out on this, but I'm just saying, I just go by the eye test. And I don't claim to be an NBA personnel expert, but when I look at Luka Doncic, I say he's a lot better than Trae Young in all facets of the game. Just my opinion.
Well, and here's the other part. There's two parts. One, he plays on a playoff basketball team. You got a chance to see him in the playoffs. So yeah, we get to see Luka Doncic a heck of a lot more than we get to see Trae Young on television, at the very least. Two, he's playing in Dallas, where they've at least been able to lure some other pretty decent players. Kristaps Porzingis is there now. Be able to surround him with a better supporting cast.
Although Atlanta brought in some talent this past year. This was supposed to be a big-time playoff push for Atlanta this season. What are they now, like 14-20? They brought in Bogdanovich, Gallinari, Chris Dunn, Rajon Rondo. So they brought in some players this year to try to make a playoff push, and so far it doesn't seem to be working. But the season is still young; they can still turn it around.
Yeah,
14-20,
and the superstar factor of Doncic, and I don't know if it's too early in the morning to get into it or not, but the fact that he is a white guy, European guy who is one of the top players in the league, and we haven't really had that since in the league since what? Larry Bird. Larry Bird's the comparison.
Dirk.
Yeah, Dirk too. But this is a guy that I don't know, like the way he can do is sort of like. I mean, Larry's the comparison, and I actually was watching.
You're talking about who can do everything.
Yeah, who can kind of do everything. Doncic can handle the ball. And so he gets that bump attention-wise. Whether that's right or wrong, that sort of feeds into maybe this discussion a little bit. I'm about to do some research on that Trae Young deal and see who really got the better end of it. Because here's one of the things, too. I mean, you mentioned in that article, defensive liability. Luka Doncic, since he's been in the league, nobody's had more turnovers than Luka Doncic. Okay? So when you start talking about liabilities and you just lay it all at the feet of Trae Young defensively, well, Luka Doncic isn't necessarily the safest guy to have the ball in his hands. Now, he can knock down big shots in the playoffs, and that's kind of what we remember, whereas Trae Young... What's his memorable moment? I mean, he may have scored 60 in a game where they beat a bad team or even lost for that matter. I have no idea. But he doesn't have the moment that Doncic had in the playoffs where he hits that fadeaway three that was replayed for a week straight. So Trae Young yet to get that opportunity, but I'm gonna do a little bit more numbers crunching, since that's my thing now. I'm a numbers cruncher guy.
There you have it. All right, our spontaneous text question of the day.
Spontaneous text question of the day.
So I was reading this story yesterday, and I guess during the pandemic, a lot of people aren't going to gyms now. They're working out with these, what are these fancy exercise bikes? Peloton? Is that what it's called? Yeah, the Peloton bikes. All right, so I know somebody who has a Peloton bike, and so they have they have touch tone TV screens on, where you can actually take live classes with an instructor, obviously virtually, but it's a live class. So a lot of people during the pandemic are falling in love with their Peloton instructors, right? They got big crushes on their Peloton instructors, I guess, because they're holed up in their home alone during the pandemic. So they're falling in love with their Peloton instructors, which is the genesis of the text question. Teacher who you had a crush on when you were a kid. 508.
Oh, I can't say my wife. I'm hot for
when
teacher,
you were a kid.
hot for my wife.
Nah. This is when, I might have told this story before. When I was in the 4th grade, we had an intern teacher. Her name was Miss Butler. And all the little boys in school loved Miss Butler, and we would hang on her little, we just tag along with Miss Butler because we all had a crush on her. At the time, I don't know, she was probably 22, 23 years old, a young intern teacher, but that's the one I remember as Miss Butler. So. Did you have one in Reardon?
Absolutely.
Did you have one in reform school?
No, I remember. I instead of taking one of the only decisions in my life that I regret, and I'm not a big regret guy, is I took French instead of Spanish in school. I wish I'd have taken Spanish. Spanish would have served me much more today than French does. But I took French because all the girls in school were taking French, and I wanted to be in that class. Well, it turns out the French teacher, Mrs. Talmadge, was absolutely fire. I mean, she was, now this may be my 12 to 13-year-old brain recollecting it, but she was a 10. She was a 10, without question. But she dated the graphic arts surfer dude teacher in the school, and they ended up getting married. So, all the guys in school were like, oh, man, she's getting married to... Yeah, I forget that guy's name. That loser.
Getting married to Mr. Spicoli.
Yeah. He was. He was a blonde-haired graphic arts teacher, oh, man, after school, I'm going to go catch some waves, man.
All right, text in 50857. Teacher you had a crush on when you were a kid. All right, up next, thought-provoking daily poll. Leonard Hamilton signs a 5-year extension at Florida State at the age of 72. We're going to get into that next on Open Mic.
What does Mike Bianchi and the
So Leonard Hamilton, friend of the show, Florida State basketball coach, longtime Florida State basketball coach. He's 72 years old. Looks like he's about, 45. He signs a contract yesterday, a contract extension, 5 years. 5 years at 72 years old. It'll take him through April 30th, 2025. The deal's worth $11.25 million in guaranteed money, which in today, when I saw that, I was like, well, that doesn't seem like very much in today's world. Seems almost like chump change. So I'm reading the story. Hamilton, his annual salary of $2.25 million remains the same, according to the Tallahassee Democrat. He is the 8th highest paid coach in the ACC. And again, I realize basketball is not a big deal at Florida State, but why is Leonard Hamilton? Why is he the 8th highest paid coach in the ACC? He's on the verge right now of winning his second straight ACC regular season championship. Is it just because he's 72 years old? Is that why he's the 8th highest paid coach in the ACC? Now, obviously, he's not going to make as much as Krzyzewski or Roy Williams, but I'm looking at the list here. His annual salary, 8th among 14 current ACC coaches, behind Duke's Mike Krzyzewski, Louisville's Chris Mack, Virginia's Tony Bennett, NC State's Syracuse's Jim Boeheim. He's been around forever. Roy Williams, Clemson's Brad Brownell. Why is he behind Clemson's Brad Brownell?
Here's probably this reason, is that Clemson's football program has brought a lot of money into their athletic budget. Florida State's football program has taken a lot of money. Hey, Leonard, we're going to extend you, okay? But if you want more money, you got to call Willie Taggart up. We gave him all the money on the way out. So, probably, honestly, it sounds like you're goofing on a school to say this, but I don't know if they could afford a raise for the guy. They extended him and said, hey, listen, we'll extend you, we'll stretch this out. But in fairness, they have put a lot of incentives into his contract. Like if he wins the ACC regular season championship, that's $150,000 extra. Makes the tournament, that's $200,000 extra. But again, most coaches already have incentives in their contracts anyway. So yeah, you look at what he's accomplished compared to some of the guys you just mentioned in the ACC, and to know that he's making less than them, there's got to be a reason. Age probably factors into it, because where's he going to go and get a long-term deal somewhere? And what other school right now is going to want to hire guys? What'd you say, 72?
72 years old. Yeah,
and give him a 5-year deal. I'm not great at math, but that puts you at 77.
And again, this is a testament. We talk about patience in athletic administration all the time. This is an example of patience paying off. I've told the story many times when Leonard Hamilton was first hired at Florida State. 6 straight years. First 6 years did not make the NCAA tournament. Dave Hart, the former AD, there was a lot of pressure on Dave Hart to fire Leonard Hamilton. It was right in the midst of the Billy Donovan era at the University of Florida. Donovan obviously was rolling early in his career at Florida and kept it going throughout his career at Florida. And Leonard Hamilton wasn't even making the tournament. And Dave Hart said, no, we're close. Leonard's a good coach. We're going to stick with him. And good thing they did, because Leonard Hamilton has been a boon for Florida State's athletic program and certainly their basketball program. I was thinking about this yesterday when I read this story. Leonard Hamilton, in my opinion, he's the most beloved coach in the state of Florida. First of all, he's a great guy. We've had him on the show. Remember when he was on the show last time? He goes, why don't you guys call me more to be on the show? And again, great guy, 72 years old. So obviously, he's got some wisdom about him. Is there any coach in the state, football, basketball, pro, college, that's more beloved than Leonard Hamilton? I certainly can't think of one. I mean, Dan Mullen's certainly not beloved. Mike Norvell, he hasn't been around long enough. Anybody? Is there anybody as beloved?
I'm trying to think because
Johnny Dawkins, maybe?
Yeah, I see. Because I mean, when it comes to Leonard Hamilton, I think Leonard Hamilton, you might use the word respect. I don't know. Leonard Hamilton doesn't feel like he lets people close enough to become beloved. You know what I mean? He's just.
I think he's beloved. I think Leonard Hamilton's beloved. Respected. Yeah, he's respected as well, but I also think I think he's beloved. I don't know anybody that doesn't like Leonard Hamilton, even Gator fans. And Leonard Hamilton has certainly dominated the Gators lately. I don't know of any Gator fans that don't like Leonard. Now, he's not in the Bobby Bowden category of beloved because Bowden was,
Yeah, maybe that's skewing my, when I think of Florida State and I think of beloved, I mean, even Florida and Miami fans can look at Bobby Bowden and go, that guy. I like that guy. He's a good guy. I don't think it doesn't feel like we know Leonard Hamilton well enough to be to beloved.
I don't know why we wouldn't know him well enough. He's only been around 20 years.
I sort of go by this. This is my
sounds like a Florida State fan. We don't really care about basketball enough to know Leonard Hamilton.
This is my sort of my fame factor, and I've told you this before. If a guy was speaking behind you in the elevator and you didn't turn around, would you know who that was?
I would.
You would know Leonard Hamilton speaking behind you?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think most wouldn't. Whereas Bobby Bowden, I just don't think he's put himself out. He's just not that kind of guy. Mike Krzyzewski, of course. Roy Williams, of course. I'm just thinking of these college basketball coaches that we know their voices and we know their. Leonard Hamilton, like if Leonard Hamilton was speaking right now, and I'm sure we've got maybe we have a clip of him somewhere in the archives, but you'd have to tell me that's Leonard Hamilton, speaking because. And I think that, he's just, and again, he's coached at Miami, he's coached at Florida State, and he's coached in the NBA. You'd think that he'd be a voice you recognize sort of right off the bat. But
I think you just don't pay. I think you're the typical Florida sports fan. You just don't pay attention enough to college basketball.
He was a Miami coach. What are you talking about? He was a Miami coach. Of course, I was paying attention back then. I wouldn't know if Jim Larinaga was talking.
Yeah, you wouldn't know if Jim Larinaga was talking, for crying out loud. And he was in the Final Four when he was at George Mason. All right, straight ahead. By the way, go vote on our thought-provoking daily poll in the wake of FSU basketball coach Leonard Hamilton signing a 5-year contract extension at the age of 72. Is Coach Ham the most beloved coach in the state of Florida? Adam Reardon doesn't think so, but I certainly do. Go vote at 96.9 The Game on Twitter. Straight ahead, got another college story I want to get to. Also, J.J. Watt has a new team. We're going to get into that next on Open Mic.
More Open Mic up next.
Coward, Douglas, and wrong.
If you've read the news lately, you've heard about these do-it-yourself home security systems you buy getting All right, so it's bracket season. The three local shows on this very station: Orlando Sports Leader, FM 96.9, The Game, AM 740. We've each got our own NCAA tournament style bracket, all right? And we are feeling extra competitive right now, all right? So we want to have some fun filling out these three unique brackets, all right? Open Mic has its bracket, and we talked about it yesterday. In fact, you guys helped us come up with the idea, some ideas for it. We have the beer bracket, all right? We're trying to name the best beer, or obviously the most popular beer among our listeners.
Mike, can I already throw out a complaint?
Great, Austin. We're trying to get people to vote on our poll, and you're going to complain about it. Go ahead.
Here's exactly why that they should go and vote, okay? Because yesterday, you're like, we need to make sure Budweiser and Bud Light are in the same category, and then they're split? Budweiser and Bud Light needs to lose this bracket, okay?
Oh my gosh!
Immediately.
Fix the competition.
Well, the reason I split them is because unlike you, I actually did some research. All right.
What?
I did some research after the show. Best-selling beers. All right, and Bud Light was number 1. And I think Budweiser was number 4. So I was like, wait a minute, you can't combine those two, because then Bud Light's just gonna win the poll.
Then you should have taken out Budweiser. Bud Heavy should be out. This should be the light beer category. But now it's for sure gonna be a Bud Light and a Budweiser.
First of all, you can't leave out the king of beers, all right? Budweiser is the king of beers.
You left out the champagne of beers.
Well, I actually thought about putting the champagne and beers in the cheap beer category, because Miller High Life, that is
I've definitely never bought a pitcher of Miller High Life for myself for $3. What?
Oh, when I was in high school, that was the beer to buy. I mean, you didn't buy it; you got somebody to buy it for you. But yeah, Miller High Life, that was like the fad beer back when I was in high school. You had to have the champagne of beers,
and it made a comeback. It made a comeback a few years ago with that marketing campaign with what's his name, Wendell. Remember the guy? He was like the beer delivery guy. He passed away.
Yeah,
the guy passed away.
The guy, he did the 1 second Super Bowl
was that
commercial.
Miller High Life or was that Miller Genuine Draft? Maybe I've got I think it was High Life.
It was High Life because the Super Bowl commercial, he went High Life.
Yeah,
that was it.
That was it. Yep.
You want to know what's sad? During my research yesterday, like just about all the top selling beer. Not sad, actually. It's probably happy because people are health conscious. Just about all the top selling beers are light beers. Like Bud Light's number 1, Miller Lite I think was number 2 or 3. Coors Light was among the top 4. Those are your top selling beers.
That's because they are easy to drink, they are cheap, and they have the best marketing. Simple as that.
And I also think people are a little bit health conscious. That's the only reason I drink light beer. I mean, I love Budweiser, the king of beers, but I drink Bud Light. I mean, I used to drink Budweiser back in my younger days, but now I drink Bud Light because I'm trying to watch my girlish figure.
So I don't drink any beer at all, just never acquired the taste for it. But I drink Diet Coke, not because it has 0 calories. I actually like the taste of Diet Coke better than regular Coke.
Oh, really?
Oh, if I get a regular Coke at a restaurant and they kind of they oops, I look like you just serve me bleach water. I'm like, oh God, what is that? That's regular Coke. Oh, that's disgusting. I like the taste of Diet Coke.
What about Coke Zero? That tastes much better than
Love Coke Zero.
Trina's a big Coke Zero person. I'm a Diet. When I was a kid, for some reason, I felt like I felt older if I was drinking Diet Coke, because that's who was drinking Diet Cokes back then, was older people, and so I started drinking Diet Coke, and turns out I like that taste better than regular Coke. So even as a young kid, I actually like Diet Coke better than regular Coke. Regular Coke's too syrupy.
We used to, when I was a kid, the diet soda of choice was Tab.
Tab. I knew it was coming. Tab. Dude, hey, you should have seen the look. You can, if you check out our YouTube page. Tab? What? What's Tab?
Tab. Yeah, that was. I think that was a Coca-Cola product even before Diet. I don't even think they had Diet Coke back then.
That was back during the Diet Right days.
Yeah, Diet Right Cola, Tab. Yeah, absolutely. All right, so our beer bracket. Austin, what's the best way for them to go vote on our beer bracket? Because we want you to vote on our brackets. Don't vote on the other brackets, though, because we are competing with them. All right.
Best way is to go to 969thegame.com. Go on the front page, you will see the 96.9 The Game bracket, and then from there it will direct you to all three. But don't vote on the other two. Just vote on Open Mic.
Yeah. So for the sake of fairness, the other two are. All right, so Mark Daniels in the Beat of Sports, their bracket is what, cliches, right? Sports cliches?
Yes.
Is that what their bracket is?
Yep.
Sports cliches. And In the Zone with Brandon Kravitz, the afternoon show, their bracket is, do they have the Quarantine Specials? Is that their bracket?
They do. They have the Quarantine 16.
Okay, and what is that? The best 16?
So kind of their memories from the from quarantine. So like
from the last year.
So like Tiger King, TikTok, New Normal, different phrases, drive-in movies. Like they have them all ranked and whatnot. So
the best things from the quarantine.
Yeah,
best things from the quarantine. All right, go vote. Don't vote on those.
Tiger King's only a 9 seed. Get out of here. You kidding me? Tiger King's a
all right, so I don't know how Scott ranked these as far as here we go. So our top seeds in our bracket, all right, we have the domestic bracket, and Bud Light is the top seed. We have the import bracket, Heineken is the top seed. We have the
big brand craft.
A big brand craft beer bracket. Blue Moon is the top seed there. And then the cheap beer bracket and PBR, Pabst Blue Ribbon, is the top. You know what's the bottom seed is Schlitz. You guys remember Schlitz beer?
Malt liquor.
Do they make Schlitz anymore?
Yeah, I think they do. I think they still make Schlitz. But no, you were talking about the Bull Schlitz malt liquor, but they used to just make regular Schlitz beer. They still do, in fact. It's just hard to find.
I used to play for a soccer team called Blackwatch in Tampa, and their home field was right there at the Lowenbrow factory. And so when you were playing soccer at 7 a.m. in the morning, it stunk like they were making beer 200 yards away, because they were in fact making beer 200 yards away.
Anyway, go to 969thegame.com, look for the brackets, and vote on our best beer bracket. All right, let's pause for station identification.
WYGM Orlando, WJRR HD2 Cocoa Beach, FM 96.9 The Game, the home of Orlando City Soccer Club.
What you reading there, honey?
It's very exciting stuff, you see. It's the front page of the internet.
Here we go! I can't believe we've got the intro today. This is great. It's time for the front page of the internet today. And we start off on YouTube's trending page, where trending on YouTube today, still from over the weekend, is the Canelo Alvarez versus Avni Yildirim. Yildirim. That fight from DAZN, D-A-Z-N, DAZN? DAZN, dang it! Clearly I'm not that big of a boxing fan. However, a lot of people are. These highlights have 4.4 million views over on YouTube's trending page, and catching up quickly.
Because you can't see the fights live unless you pay for them, right?
Yeah, but it's like I think $9. It's either $9 a month or it's $120, or no, it's $100 for the year.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
But then also trending on YouTube from CBS, Oprah does an interview with Meghan and Harry. Yes.
Nice.
That Meghan and Harry. Meghan Markle and Harry the Prince. I don't know Harry's last name. Harry, Prince of Wales? Is his last name Prince of Wales? I don't know.
Just Wales.
Just Wales. Harry Wales.
Harry Wales.
But Oprah, they are teasing an interview that Oprah is doing with them, with the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, Meghan and Harry. That 30-second clip has 3 million views.
That's what they are. He's the Duke of Sus.
Dude, super sus, bro.
That's hilarious.
Happy birthday today to rock star extraordinaire John Bon Jovi.
Hey.
John Bon Jovi's got to be 63 today.
Yeah, I'm going to go 65. He's also was an owner of an arena football league team, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was he really?
In Philly, I think.
Yep. The Soul.
So, 59 years old today.
Nice.
Maybe looks like he's 63 or 65, but only 59. And finally, we move on to Reddit, where the top thing on Reddit right now is from the Ask Reddit subreddit. What movie is so disturbing that you would never watch it again? Is it if there are horror movies that you wouldn't watch, suspense movies, anything that jumps to the front of your mind? I've got a couple of the comments here, but anything jump out to you right away?
I know what's going to be in the comments, right?
What's in
Human Centipede?
Human Centipede is on the list.
Definitely in there. I'm sure of it.
What about Fatal Attraction? That movie used to scare me.
Really? Fatal Attraction?
Yeah, that Glenn Close was an evil, evil woman, like putting live rabbits in pots and stuff.
So I was never afraid of movies as a kid, even Freddy Krueger or any of that stuff, because I had a friend's dad who explained to me at a very young age, and parents, you can use this for your kids too if they're afraid to watch movies that you like to watch because they're afraid. He said, listen, if Freddy Krueger was real, wouldn't he just kill the guy holding the camera standing right next to him first?
Good
and
point.
I go, yeah, you're right. So this is not real. That guy's not real, because otherwise the guy sitting there holding the camera the whole time, that would just be easy pickings for old Freddy Krueger. And that got me, literally, that moment I was like, huh, great point. This is all just an act. It's not real. This guy can't come to my dreams and kill me.
That's right.
When I was a kid, I used to have nightmares about the Wicked Witch of the West and the Wizard of Oz. Like she was chasing me. Yeah, and her broom. Yeah. No, that was Elmira Gulch.
Elvira?
No, Elmira. I think her name was Elmira Gulch. She was the Wicked Witch. That was actually before she became the Wicked Witch. She was the
she was
old
the
lady
aunt.
that came.
Or no, that wasn't the aunt, but she was the lady that came and got the dog. Yeah.
Yeah, she was. She came to get Toto because Toto had bitten her or something, and that's when Dorothy ran away to.
I swear to God, right now, Austin's got his hands extended as in, I don't know what you guys are talking about.
No idea.
There's no chance you have no idea what we're talking about.
You've never seen the Wizard of Oz, really?
Nope, never.
You would think a guy who
From
grew up in the
Nebraska?
Midwest.
Nope.
Right.
I understand the reference. We're not in Kansas anymore, but other than
Did you know that's from The Wizard of Oz?
I knew that's from The Wizard of Oz. I don't know what The Wizard of Oz is about. It's about a girl who gets swept away. She's got red shoes.
Do you even know who the girl's name is?
Dorothy?
Yeah. Good job.
Red shoes and a dog, and then they meet a scarecrow, a weird lion guy, and a Tin Man.
I played the Tin Man in our school's version of Wizard of Oz, as a matter of fact.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Perfect.
Nice. I don't know. That's literally all I know.
How about that for the internet? Austin has never seen the Wizard of Oz. I thought that you had to watch that as a kid. I thought it was like something.
Right?
Isn't that movie like 80 years old?
Yeah, but it still plays today. Like, listen, I'm not a nostalgic, traditionalist type guy, but I'm pretty sure I've had my kids sit down and watch the Wizard of Oz. And then when you
I used to know all the words to like the songs, like the Scarecrow song. I could while away the hours, conferring with the flowers, consulting with the rain. In my head, I'd be scratching while my thoughts were busy hatching. If I only had a brain. Yeah.
It's falling upon deaf ears,
Never heard it.
blind eyes.
Yeah.
Just a dumb guy. I'm joking.
That's the front page of the internet today.
I'd unravel every riddle for every individual in trouble or in pain.
Mike, have you ever heard the rumor that if you played Dark Side of the Moon,
it was the Scarecrow song?
It would line up to the entire movie. You play the entire album. So you turn you turn the volume off on the movie, and then you play, was that Pink Floyd?
Yeah.
Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon, and like the music goes like in like direct accordance to the movie, like it yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. So
not gonna watch it.
Well, I mean, you could do that, during some recreational time. And then watch the movie. Maybe that floats your boat.
Hey, maybe that's the only way.
That is the front page of the internet. All right, so a few days ago, Orlando Magic coach Steve Clifford made a point of telling the media that, hey, Mo Bamba needs to play more. Mo Bamba needs to start getting some minutes. He needs to get his conditioning, so we're going to start playing Mo Bamba more minutes. In fact, here's what he said a few days ago.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to do it like that. I'm going to try to keep everybody in rhythm as best that we can. Mo needs the time because you can see, obviously his conditioning level is still, and again, through no fault of his own, but he just, he still missed so much time that he needs to be out there. And that's how we're going to do it.
Okay, Adam Reardon, I want you to do me a favor real quick, all right? I want you to call up the Magic box score, all right? Can you call up the Magic box score from last night for me?
Can grab it.
Please?
Yep.
Grab that, from ESPN.com or wherever you get your box scores, all right? And I want you to call that up. All right, and when you get it called up, I want you, since Steve Clifford says Mo Bamba needs more minutes, I want you to go down to Mo Bamba's name in the box score and tell me how many minutes, his stat line, please.
Well, his minutes obviously were shared with my minutes last night because we both got 0 in that game. DNP, the old DNP / coach's decision.
So Mo Bamba didn't play last night because of a coach's decision only a few days after Steve Clifford said, hey, we need to get Mo some playing time. What did Steve Clifford say last night when asked? I believe maybe it was Josh Robbins who asked him, where the hell was Mo last night?
Oh, really, it's pick and roll defense against them as much as anything. They're such a high volume pick and roll team. Kim is you probably know this, Kim is an exceptional pick and roll defender. So, we're able to do things when he's in the game. We can mix things up. We can be aggressive. We can be in a drop. It gives us, we have more versatility in that part of the game, which is the biggest part of their offense.
So that was Steve Clifford essentially saying that Mo Bamba can't play very good pick and roll defense, whereas Kim Burtz, the actual backup center, plays exceptional pick and roll defense. Here's a question I have, all right? Do you think that Steve Clifford said that Mo Bamba is going to play more minutes because essentially I'm not saying that Jeff Weltman, the GM, or Jeff Weltman, the president of basketball operations, or John Hammond, the GM, ordered that to happen. But do you think they may have suggested you really need to start getting Mo some time because people are just talking about how he's a flop now, and we drafted him, and we really need to see if he's anything. Do you think that conversation took place at all? Because I did. I think somebody told Steve Clifford, you got to start getting Mo more minutes. Because, again, he's in the third year now. We need to see if we have anything here.
Well, wasn't it like 2 weeks ago we were discussing the Lakers could potentially be looking to deal for him? I mean,
yeah.
But I'll tell you what, if I'm the Lakers this morning and I listen to that from their head coach, go, This guy thinks he can't play dead. I mean, he thinks this guy can't play any defense at all. By the way, I looked up as I'm still in the box score. Kim Birch and his great pick and roll defending last night. His plus minus -16, worst on the team.
There you have it. All right, we do have a supplemental poll on this just a few days after Orlando Magic coach Steve Clifford said that Mo Bamba needed to start getting more minutes. How baffling was it that Clifford chose not to play Bamba at all in last night's loss to the Dallas Mavericks? I'm sure, Austin, one of the options is so baffling. Is that one of them?
Yeah, that's answer number one every single time.
All right, you can go vote on that poll and all of our other polls at 96.9 The Game. Straight ahead, we have the sound off coming your way on Open Mic.
Bianchi's got to get a quick workout in.
Pump you up.
Sound Off brought to you by the Open Mic Beer Bracket. Go vote at 969thegame.com. Right now, we are trying to come up with the best beer during March Madness. Go vote.
Sound off. Felt very odd. I haven't done that in a while. It's been like almost, a year and a half since we've had baseball and fans in the stands, so it was cool. Happy to have the fans back for sure. And locked it in the second inning, which is good, so felt good.
Spring training has started, and that was pitcher Trevor Bauer talking about how, hey, there are fans in the stands now, and this is kind of weird. It is pretty cool to see Major League Baseball having some fans back in the stands. How do you feel about it, Mike?
Well, yeah, I mean, COVID cases are going down. I certainly don't think we should rush into, having capacity crowds at stadiums right now. But hopefully by the time football season gets here, I mean, I saw yesterday where Alabama's athletics director said they expect to have full capacity, 100,000 people in their stadium come the beginning of September. Now, I don't know where we're going to be in September, but right now, I mean, I don't, obviously baseball games are outdoors, so I don't see anything the matter with having a couple thousand socially distanced fans at a spring training game. In fact, I love it. So good. I hope we keep moving in the right direction with the COVID cases so we can have full stadiums during football season.
Sound off. The only milestone I paid attention to was I wanted to get 10 home runs and 10 stolen bases. And then I got traded to the American League, made it way harder for that to happen. And then I got caught stealing for the first time ever when I was in Houston because I was wanted to steal so bad because I knew it might be my last chance to get 10 stolen bases. And then I got caught because I wanted it too much.
That's Zach Greinke. Pitcher in the major league. Zach Greinke, one of my favorite pitchers of all time if you've followed his career. But he's saying he wants, he doesn't really care.
He's one of your favorites of all time, really?
Absolutely. Zach Greinke, when he was in Kansas City, was my favorite player other than Alex Gordon, who was a Nebraska
obviously
Cornhusker.
Obviously you know where Zach Greinke played high school baseball, obviously.
I would imagine somewhere here in Florida. Apopka?
Oh, very nice.
Hey.
Good one, Austin. He was a Apopka High School graduate.
For a bonus point, what's their nickname, mascot?
Yeah,
Apopka what?
Aces.
No.
Dang.
Aces.
That wasn't bad. I mean,
Blue Darters.
Blue Darters. Yeah,
that's right.
He Googled it.
No. Shout out to Roger Franklin Williams for that one. He's on our station all the time, and I used to produce his show. So that's how the king of Apopka, Roger Franklin Williams, right there.
You know what I love about Roger Franklin Williams? That man has old school values.
That he does.
Integrity, sportsmanship.
Rolling in the years. It's Steely Dan, brother. Anyway, Zach Greinke talking about career milestones and how he doesn't really care for any of the pitching ones. What do you think about that? The fact that the only milestones that he really cares about are ones that he can't really get. What do you think about that?
Wait, so now it's all making sense to me. I'm thinking, like who is this player that his only aspiration is to steal 10 bases? And
right.
Now he's traded to the American League, so he can't do it. I'm thinking, God, defensively, were the catchers that good? They were picking the guy off all the time. Then do what everybody else is doing in the world of sports. Demand a trade back to the National League, okay?
Yeah.
All right, listen, hold out. I mean, listen, how bad do you want it, Zach, okay? That's going to be the question, okay? Hold out. Demand a trade. It's what all the cool kids are doing.
Sound off.
I would say he's a sly, kind of athletic person. He's a more mobile Tom Brady. He's very athletic, I would say, but he's very smart, too. Not just on the field, he's smart off the field as well.
Tua Tagovailoa giving big major props to Mac Jones, saying he's a more mobile Tom Brady. Mike, are you buying this?
I guess collegiately you could say he's a more. I didn't know that. Mac Jones. First of all, to be a more mobile Tom Brady, Tom Brady's not mobile at all. So I don't. Just the fact that I guess that he mentioned Tom Brady and Mac Jones in the same sentence. Yeah, That's obviously a hell of a compliment. And if you listen to some of the other compliments talking about some of the other Alabama players like Najee Harris and Devontae Smith, what did he call Devontae Smith? The Slim Reaper yesterday during that same interview. The Slim Reaper.
Sound off.
I know I'm going to win.
Oh, you are. You know you're going to win.
Yes, this is a fight. I'm not going to lose. Whatever it takes for me to win. If I got to pull out some little, dirty moves.
That's Shaquille O'Neal. He is going to be on AEW on TNT on Wednesday. He is going to be in a mixed tag team match with Jade Cargill taking on the Red Velvet and Cody Rhodes. Whatever about that. But my question for you, Adam, is Shaquille O'Neal, is there anyone more fit, any athlete more fit to be a pro wrestler than Shaquille O'Neal?
Yes.
Who would that be?
It's the two guys that have already sort of participated in it. Rob Gronkowski, I think really could be probably a pretty good wrestler athletically and kind of his charisma. And then if you're just going off of, kind of the persona, when Dennis Rodman was part of the NWO at that point in his life, it was perfect. That was perfect. But Shaq is entertaining as all hell. I love Shaq. To me, he's done the most with the most in his lifetime. I mean, when you're blessed with that sort of size and athleticism, athletically he's killed it. Financially, he's killed it. His post playing career, he's killed it. That guy's been amazing. Absolutely love Shaq.
I'm worried about Shaq. I mean, Shaq's, and again, wrestling is choreographed. I realize that, but Shaq's a little too old and a little too fat. I'm worried he might hurt himself out there, even doing a wrestling stunt.
You tell me, oh no, he can't sit behind the desk kind of stunt? Come on now. He's an athlete.
Well, what's he going to do in the wrestling match?
Well, it's a tag team match, so probably not a lot.
Even if he has to lift somebody, he's going to hurt him. Shaq's going to get hurt in this. He's just too fat and out of shape now.
Even though I love Shaq, I'm rooting for the other team. Who are they playing against?
Cody Rhodes and the Red Velvet.
They're going against Red Velvet and Carrot Cake? Then I'm going for them. That's who I'm going for.
Goodness. Sound off! That's the sound off for today, which means... Oh, hell yeah! Give us a call, 407-916-8255 for your chance at a pair of tickets to see the Magic take on the Atlanta Hawks tomorrow night at the Amway Center at 8 p.m. You can check out the All-Star, Nikola Vucevic, who will actually be on the show later today. But give us a call right now, 407-916-8255. Mike, tell the beautiful people what's coming up next.
Well, Vooch will join us at 8:15 a.m. this morning. But up next, J.J. Watt has a new team. We'll get into that next on Open Mic.
Whether you're drinking your morning coffee or sipping
It's bracket season. Our 3 shows on this station feeling very competitive. March Madness is here. Have some fun filling out the 3 unique brackets. Open mic, our show, the Beat of Sports, Mark Daniels show, In the Zone, Brandon Kravitz's show, all shamelessly trying to get more clicks than the rest of the bunch. Find all of the brackets live on our website right now at 969thegame.com. Our bracket, the open mic bracket, that's the one we really want you to vote on, the open mic beer bracket, all right? We're trying to come up with the best beer among our listeners, so go vote on that. I can't figure out how to vote on this thing, all right? Maybe you guys can help me. I can't even get logged on. So
all right, Mike, come on now, you old man.
What is okay, Boomer?
I can't get logged on to this thing. I want to vote, okay? Because we have some good beer matchups, first round matchups. I mean, we have a Miller Lite versus Bud Light in the first round. Are you kidding me?
Oh, you know I'm going Miller Lite in that matchup right there. You know it.
That's
Miller
a tough
Lite.
one. Well, Miller Lite has fewer carbs, so I might
and
go
more
Miller Lite.
flavor.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
I went there.
But it has fewer carbs and fewer calories than does Bud Light.
You know why I like Miller Lite? It's a fine Pilsner. I like it. I like their tagline, a fine Pilsner, because they're like, it's a fine Pilsner. I'm like, nah, it's fine. It's a fine Pilsner.
It is a fine Pilsner. Plus, I prefer a Pilsner over a lager any day.
Absolutely.
Any day. And I don't even know the difference, but I know that those are 2 separate kinds of beers. What's the difference between a Pilsner and a lager?
It's the type of malt used.
It is?
Yes. Pilsner.
You're just making that up.
No, I know about this. I worked at a craft beer bar when I was in college. Pilsners have a certain type of malt that they use. It's a Pilsner malt. That's what it's called.
Is a Pilsner a lighter type beer and a lager a heavier type?
Not necessarily.
Malt.
Not necessarily. It's all about
Okay.
the toasting process when it comes to light and darkness.
Are you one of those guys who gets upset if they're putting the wrong glass?
I don't get upset by it, but there were a lot of people at the bar that were regulars that did get very upset when, like, oh, this is high gravity. It must be in a tulip glass to get all of the. Nah, screw
What's
you.
a tulip? What's a tulip glass?
Tulip glass, where it's like a. I mean, it looks like a tulip. It's got the flare out at the top, so that way.
So it can breathe, Mike. You need the effervescence of the. You smell that? That's mahogany.
The bouquet of the mahogany, yes.
Right, yeah.
Those are some floral notes in there.
Yeah, man.
All right, go vote at 969thegame.com. Go vote on our beer bracket. Don't worry about voting on the other brackets because we're competing with them. All right? So go vote on the beer bracket for sure. All right, we mentioned this during the sound off, or at least I mentioned it during the sound off. So Alabama's athletics director, Greg Byrne, announced yesterday. He tweeted a short statement essentially saying, yes, we intend to have capacity crowds this fall in our football stadium. Now, obviously, this past football season, Alabama, which ended up winning the national championship, they reduced its capacity to 20% last season, as did just about every other college out there. Well, now they're saying, hey, since COVID cases are going down, we plan to have capacity, and capacity at Bryant-Denny Stadium in Tuscaloosa is 100,077. So here's my question. Do you guys think we're going to have capacity stadiums in early September at college football games?
I think some of them will be. I genuinely think some of them will be. I think, like, the Swamp will be at full capacity.
I don't know. And again, obviously, we're speculating here. We don't know what the COVID cases are going to be like. Maybe everybody's vaccinated. What are we in? We're in March now. March, April, May, June, July, August. Again,
6 months?
we've got actually 5 months until the beginning of football season. I don't know what the vaccination rate will be then. Right now, though, we couldn't even come close to that, I wouldn't think.
No.
Even though COVID cases are going down,
15% of the population has had at least one dose of a coronavirus vaccine. 15%.
Well, in Alabama, it's only 13% of the people have received one shot. So Alabama below the national average. Again, it's going to be interesting. And obviously, hopefully, we hope, we want capacity crowds, because if there's capacity crowds, that means we are through the COVID crisis. So obviously, everybody wants that. I'm just wondering if that's going to be the case.
It was a bold,
All right, here's the.
It was a bold move to announce it. Okay, like if there was
This
one
far out.
If there's one thing we should have learned from last March, was that we shouldn't put timelines on this sort of thing, because how many times did we hang on the word of an athletic director saying we're gonna have fans, or we're gonna have this, or we're not gonna do this.
So can I ask you this, guys?
Or like the Big Ten commissioner saying we're not going to play.
Absolutely. I mean, but if there's anything, we shouldn't be putting these kind of expectations out there.
So can I ask you this? Is this a bit of I want to say a marketing ploy? But if you're the athletic director at Alabama, you say, "Hey, listen, we're gonna pack that place, and we're gonna be back to business as usual.
Get your tickets right now.
Get your tickets right now,
Yep.
because it's and then once you got their money in the bank, then you do what kind of what Orlando City did with people's money, like." Well, you can't have your money back, but what we can do is offer you this, prorated down the road. Once you've got the money in the bank. I wonder if
there's this, what a lot of colleges did. They got the season ticket money in the bank, and then the pandemic strikes, and they go, "Oh man, we're really hurting. If you guys want to donate this season ticket money to help your athletic program."
Yep.
You send them a video with like Sally Struthers, "With just one contribution, you can feed 3 of these football players for an off season." No, I honestly, that's what crossed my mind, because I don't know Greg Burr. I'm sure he's a smart guy, but probably smart in his business, which is running an athletic department. He's looking around going, well, we can't survive another year without having people pay for, I need to do something. And if you announce it, people buy the season tickets, and then we'll cross that bridge when we get to it if we're not ready. Then we'll do the deferred, hey, feed the 5 stars. Sally Struthers. Here's my friend Nick Saban. If you want to feed 5 stars. Listen, charity begins at home, and we're here in Alabama. These kids got to eat, even though there's no football season.
All right, straight ahead is Leonard Hamilton, the most beloved coach in the state of Florida. I think he is. We'll get into that with Adam Shadoff of Fox 35. That's coming your way next on Open Mic.
Open Mic. We'll be back in a couple minutes.
Who has the best radio show in
time to put the pedal to the floor. It's loud and live and local. Oh, time for open mic.
Welcome back to Open Mic. I'm Mike Bianchi. Some people call me the Bulldog. Sports columnist of the Orlando Sentinel, joined as always by Adam Reardon. Some people call him the Deceptive Intellect. And Austin Pastolka, everybody calls him the Sultan of Sound. Together we are Open Mic, the troika of sports talk radio excellence in the megalopolis we know as Central Florida. We are loud, live, and local every morning, 6 to 9:30 a.m. You can listen to us in a number of ways. FM 96.9 The Game, AM 740 HD. If you have one of those fancy schmancy HD radios in your car, as I do in my luxury sedan, that's 101.1-2 on the FM dial. You can listen to us. If you don't hear us good on the FM, go to AM. If you don't hear us good on AM, you can always hear us loud and clear on HD 101.1-2. You can also listen on your cell phone. You can listen on your smart speaker. You can watch us on YouTube. Just go to YouTube, search for Open Mic live stream. You can find us there. You can also watch us on Twitter and Twitch. Did I forget anything? Is that about all the ways you can listen to a podcast? You can also find us on podcasts, all right? If you don't hear us live, just go to 969thegame.com/podcast. Look for Open Mic on Demand. Our entire show is there right after our show because Austin Pastolka, the Sultan of Sound, posts it right there. So you can find it very, very easily. Nick Vucevic, the Orlando Magic All-Star Center, will join us at 8:15 during our Magic Word segment. Can't wait to hear from Vooch at 8:15 this morning. Also, our spontaneous text question of the day.
Spontaneous text question of the day.
Okay, this is in honor of a story that I read on one of the websites last night. I think it was either Fox News or CNN, one of those. All right, and people during the pandemic, I guess because they're holed up in their homes alone, some of them, like, you know, some people live alone or some people don't have a significant other, and so they're falling in love with their, what are those fancy bikes called again? Pelotons.
You mean like literally falling in love?
Yeah, they've got like these huge crushes on their Peloton instructors. All right, and that's the genesis of our spontaneous text question, which is, of course, I've amended it a bit. Instructor or / teacher you used to have a crush on when you were a kid. And I told about Miss Butler, the intern, when I was in the 4th grade. All the little boys had a crush on Miss Butler. We followed her around like little puppy dogs. All right, so Miss Butler was mine. Adams was the French teacher, right, who you said was a 10?
Miss Talmadge, yeah.
Miss Talmadge. All right. Text Austin did not have a crush on any teacher except his wife, who's a teacher.
That's right. Absolutely.
Who became a teacher.
Who became a teacher. Yeah.
This guy, I mean, you could tell he's newly married, scared to...
Right. Yeah. You can't say anything about who I had a crush on when I was a kid.
Isn't that interesting?
Of course, when you grow up in a one-room schoolhouse with the school marm, like Austin did in Nebraska.
Yeah. I like Miss Crabtree.
Yes. She was 72. She used to slap us on the hand with rulers when we were bad. Yes.
This explains a lot now.
Somebody texted in Miss McDonald. She was a former Miami Hurricane cheerleader and our middle school teacher. Somebody else texts in. We'll get to that in a minute. First, let's talk a little bit about the Orlando Magic before we get into Adam Shadoff's going to join us momentarily, the Fox 35 sports anchor. So the Magic last night actually played well offensively, but they simply could not keep up with Luka Doncic and the Dallas Mavericks. The Magic go down to Doncic, who scores 33 points last night. They go down to the Mavericks 130 to 124. Here's what it sounded like.
Doncic behind the back. What a pass to Dorian Finney-Smith. My goodness, into the back of his head. He's so special. Brunson with the layup. That's good. Oh, what a night for Jalen Brunson. 23 for Brunson. Doncic using some clock. Carter Williams picks him up. Step back three. Good by Doncic. Oh, my goodness. He is so good.
For the most part, when we did what we were supposed to do, we gave ourselves a chance. And when we didn't, that's when the open threes came. And you can't make mistakes with a guy like Doncic. I just thought, to be honest with you, I thought we'd be better defensively. And that was the difference in the game.
And that's what's so baffling about the Magic. What are they on a 4-game losing streak right now after winning 3 in a row several days ago? Offensively, they were fine. Vooch last night scored 29, had a game-high 15 rebounds. Evan Fournier scored 26. Terrence Ross and Michael Carter-Williams each had 18. The Magic shot 49.5% from the floor. They made a season-best 23-pointers, but their defense has abandoned them during the last 2 losses. Just abandoned them. The Mavericks had 69 second-half points last night. 69, and again, I don't know what's going on with the Magic's defense. I really don't. That's what, and again, maybe it's just that the Magic have been so shorthanded and they've lost so much. Maybe they're finally starting to say, you know what, we just can't do it. I mean, that's what defense, you have to want to play defense. And maybe the Magic are reaching that stage that, hey, we just can't do this. We just can't do it. And here's the other thing. Where was Mo Bamba last night? Just a few days ago, Steve Clifford said Mo Bamba was going to, start playing more minutes. Got to get Mo Bamba more minutes. Got to develop him. Got to get him in shape. Last night, Mo Bamba, DNP, coach's decision, did not play. Did not play last night. Do we have Steve Clifford's explanation of why Mo Bamba didn't play last night, Austin? Do you have that?
Really, it's pick and roll defense against them as much as anything. They're such a high volume pick and roll team. Kim is you probably know this, Kim is an exceptional pick and roll defender. So, we're able to do things when he's in the game. We can mix things up. We can be aggressive. We can be in a drop. It gives us, we have more versatility in that part of the game, which is the biggest part of their offense.
Translation, Mo Bamba can't play defense.
Kim Birch, by the way, had the worst plus minus on the team last night, and